Okay, Bonsai Bridge, let's do it. This is a remake of an older painting I used to do, but I find that the grayscale makes it easier to paint. I'm starting off mixing a light gray. It's very light, but the reason I'm doing it is because I want to have the ability to add white later and have it show up. And if I did pure white in the center there, you wouldn't be able to see the white I add at the end. So I keep it light gray, and then I get darker as I work out to the edges. Try and do a basic gradient. This is hard for some students, but ultimately it's not that important. It's okay if it's a little stripy. Next I'm going to start adding in some rocks here. And the goal is to make them very light and small in the background, and as I move forward I make them darker and bigger and further apart, and this kind of creates multiple depth. We have atmospheric perspective, we have vanishing point perspective, and then also size relationships. Also, if I can, try and get some overlap of the rocks so that you can tell which one's in front of the other. Once I lay down a rock, I use the same color and just do a couple straight lines coming out of it, and then tap in a little bit of leaves. It's very sloppy with the tap, I just kind of dab the brush. If it breaks apart, I get that kind of broken leaf effect, which I like. So as you can see, I'm working my way forward in space, but just down the canvas, getting darker. The most common problem students have at this stage is they make the rocks too separated vertically. So they're drawing these rocks down near the bottom instead of, really it's only a couple inches apart from the back rock and front rock. So I only did a little bit of the background trees, but once I get to this sort of dark gray, I bring the trees all the way across out to the outsides, and again I just tap in the leaves. It's a second verse, same as the first. So at this point I'm going to make kind of an oval from one side of the rock to the other. This is one of the hardest parts, to get an even oval, but do your best. I'll put in some black rocks here. The bottoms of the rocks are basically flat. That's important. That's what makes them look like they're sitting in water, because water always levels out. So the top of the rock is just sort of a lump, and then the bottoms are flat. I'm blacking out my bridge. A little screw up there. Just painting in, going pretty quick here, and then I'm going to just drag down some black from the bottom of these front rocks, because this is the cliff that the water is flowing off of, my waterfall, and then where the rocks are, it's going to leave a little shadow or a gap where the water isn't flowing. So now I'm going to paint in the railings on the bridge here. Kind of keep it simple. I don't need too many posts. I think it's pretty clear it's a bridge. Next I'm going to do some foreground trees. Again, they're just lines, nothing complicated about it. I make them a little thicker, but it's not that important. And then I tap in the leaves again, just repeating that pattern we started in the beginning. And then finally, I think I'm going to start using some color here. Oh, nope. Oh, I'm going to add in the white I was talking about. So the center, it looks white, but it's off. It's a little off white, so that these white horizontal lines I'm putting in will show up, and they kind of give the impression of a surface to my river, or whatever, my lazy river. And then I just do the old Bob Ross, swoosh and pull waterfall technique here, and get some nice waterfall. I kind of overdid it. I wish I left it at this stage, but I just kept going and going, so don't overdo it. So I get the waterfall in, and now I'm going to go into the color. I start with a bluer purple, more blue than red, with a little white in it. Tap it into the leaves, and then I'm going to make a few little marks on the rocks and imply some rocks in the black just by making these sort of curved lines. Not lines, but these sort of curved shapes. Once I get those in there, I'm going to add a little more white and a little more red so I get a more purpley color. And I try not to cover up all of the first color, just do a highlight on top of it, and then I'll get even pinker, a little more white and red, and do a few little highlights on top of my highlights. And I'll do the same in the trees. I forgot to zoom out so you can't see that, but same idea. Just tap in. Each time you tap in a highlight color, you just do less than you did before. And that's pretty much it. The whole painting took about 45 minutes, so should be able to teach it in 2 hours, hopefully. And there you go. Thanks for watching, and good luck teaching your painting.